Hello everyone, Christine Halsey here, and we're going to look today at organizing users and groups. We have a domain that we established in a previous lab, and we're going to add some users to it, and then we're going to put the users in groups, and then we're going to look at putting them in organizational units and how to create all of those. So our first task, add user, and then log on as that user, create a group. We're going to put members in the groups, and then we're going to create organizational units and put groups in the units. So first thing we're going to do is add our user. We need to be on SRV1. Make sure up here in the upper left hand corner that you're on SRV1. And we log in with the password. Make sure you click in the block. It doesn't come up highlighted automatically. And it's password uppercase P and an exclamation point at the end. And the experimental /administrator, experimental is our domain. Okay, in Server Manager, we're going to open Server Manager first, expand roles, expand Active Directory domain services. The first one under that is Active Directory users and computers. I expand it, and then I see Experimental Lab. I'm going to expand that. I'm going to highlight users, and those are the users that are currently in the domain. I'm going to right-click and add a new user. Okay, so you would put in your first name, put in your last name, then your username will be your first initial of your first name and your last name. Click Next, and then we're going to assign a password. I recommend password 1 with an uppercase P because we have to meet password complexity requirements, 7 characters, upper, lower digits, and special characters. Has to have 3 of the 4 of those. So if I do uppercase P, password, and then the number 1, that meets the requirements. I'm going to uncheck this box so I don't have to change my password. And next. Should show your name and your name at experimental.lab. And finish. Okay, so we just created that user. Now we have to go allow that user to log on to the PC. So we're going to minimize the server, and I'm going to pull up the PC. Make sure in the upper left-hand corner it says PC1. Many of the windows I've seen with y'all, you have to scroll down to find PC1. Okay, and again, we're going to log in with the password, uppercase P, password, with an exclamation point at the end. This is still the administrator. We're not logging in as ourselves yet. We have to first go give ourselves rights to log in. Okay, so we'll go to Start and right-click on Computer and go to Properties. This is the System window, and in the System window we're going to go to Remote Settings over here on the left. Down under Remote Desktop, I'm going to select Users. Since this is a remote environment, I have to give that user permission to log in remotely. So I'm going to Add, go to Advanced. Now I could put in name here and search, or the first letter of the name and search. I can do that back at the other window, or I can just hit Find Now and it gives me a list of all the possibilities. I can find my name and hit OK. Should show my name in the Object Names to Select. Hit OK. Show C. Halsey at Experimental. That will be your username. OK. And OK. All right. Now I'm going to log off this computer. Once I log off, I'll reconnect. And then I'm going to log in as my new user. So I'm going to switch user, other user, and put in my username. Now we're in the experimental domain, so we have to put that in our backslash first, and then our username. And we put in password 1 for password. If you put in the one I suggested, if not, you have to remember what yours was. And enter. This should bring up a license agreement, and I have to agree to the license agreement. Then I'm going to click on Start, and I should see my user information here. That would be number 7, showing your name. We created a user, and we can log on as that user. Okay, now we're on to task 2, and we're going to create groups here. We can have global groups or domain local groups. Alright, so we'll create one group called Domain Managers and another group called Global Managers. Then we'll put the user based on our name in Global Managers, and then put Global Managers into Domain Managers. Alright, so we need to start on the server. And if you left it open, we're right where we need to be. And they're trying to show us different ways that we can do some of the same things. We can, instead of right-clicking, we can also go to Action, New, Group. Okay, for this group name, okay, I must have scrolled too far. Oh, my apologies. Okay, yeah, we're right. We're right where we need to be. This is our Domain Managers group. And it is domain local. Okay, so we created a domain managers group. Alright, now another way to do the same thing is to right click over here, new group, and this is going to be global managers, and it's a global group, and click OK. Alright, now we're going to put the user based on our name into the global managers group. So I'm going to double click global managers to open up its properties window and go under members, and I'm going to add in here, well no, they have me do that next time, so I'll save that for the next one. And I want to find now and find my username. Okay. Oh, need to leave this window open and show that we are a member of the Global Managers group. And now we want to make Global Managers a member of Domain Managers. So I'm going to double click Domain Managers, go to Members, Add. This time I'm going to put a G in here in the block because I know the name of what I'm looking for. I'm going to hit Check Names, and that brings up all the names that start with G. I can select Global Managers, make sure it's in my Enter the Object Names to Select box. Come back here and show that Global Managers is a member of Domain Managers. So we have now created a group and populated it. Okay, and we're on to our next task. Task 3, managing organizational units. And we're supposed to be here in Server Manager, expand till you see the domain name. We're going to right click on the domain name and new organizational unit. Alright, the name of our unit is going to be sales. We're going to leave this checked so it's protected from accidental deletion. You now should see sales over here under users or somewhere under experimental.lab. And now we're going to try to create one of these and delete it. You saw how it was protected, so we're going to do the same thing. Right click experimental, new organizational unit, and this one I'm going to base on my last name, Halsey. You can use your last name. I left the checkbox checked so it is protected. I'm going to right click it and try to delete it. Are you sure you want to delete it? Yep. Tough. You don't have privileges to delete this. It's protected. Alright, so now we're going to change that so that we can delete it. So we have to right click, go into properties. Oh, here they wanted us to see that there wasn't much. Not sure why. Then we come up here to view, advanced features. And then you see it moves everything, and we're going to right click sales again and go into properties. And now it gives us a whole lot more options up here, and we're going to click on object tab up top. unprotect it from accidental deletion. Apply. Okay. Oh, I did that on the wrong one. I did that on sales. I'm supposed to do that on Halsey. So let me do that on the right one. Go back into properties. I did turn on advanced features. There it goes. Protect, uncheck that. Apply. Okay, don't delete sales if you happen to follow me and do the wrong one. Let's delete Halsey. Are you sure you want to? Yes, I do. And it deletes it. Once you get that checkbox, in fact, I need to go put mine back on object. Once you show that you've unchecked that checkbox, before you delete it, take a screenshot showing you checked that. Okay, so we created and deleted an organizational unit. Okay, we're going to make our user, the one that we created with our name, manager of the sales organizational unit. All right, so I'm going to click on users and highlight it. Find my username, and I'm going to click and hold it and drag it over to the sales folder. And you should see the little thing showing that it's actually dragging something. And then I drop it in users. I should have got a pop-up window there. Oh, my stupid self. I put it in users. No, it doesn't go in users. It goes in sales. Now I'll get the pop-up. Trying to go too fast, sorry. Here's different permissions warning. Click yes. Now we want to delegate some administrative privileges to the user in the container. So we're going to right click on sales and delegate control. That brings up a delegation control wizard. Next, we want to add. Find our name. Okay. All right, next, we're going to check these first two boxes so that we can create, delete, and manage user accounts and reset user passwords and force password changes. And next, okay, so we want to scroll down in this window so we can see the delegated task. That's our last screenshot. They're looking at how you can apply and let somebody use that right. And we'll finish that. Took your last screenshot and we log out.